Hi, this is Subramaniam Shankaran from ISSS. In this video, we're going to have a look at the 7 different types of privacy that exist. Now, this is the information privacy era. So, with the GDPR and CCPA, every country has started to follow the privacy law. Now, India has got DPDP and PDPL in Saudi Arabia and UAE. We've got PDPA in Singapore. Okay, every country. Okay, we've got UK GDPR after the Brexit, which is more or less based on the EU GDPR. Now, when we say privacy, what are the things that we actually need to take care of? It's not just the personal data, though we call personal data protection. Okay, it is just more than the personal data. Okay, even if you look at the EU and UK GDPR, we just don't say the personal identifier information, but also the biometrics come to the picture. Okay, let's have a look at the 7 types of privacy that we need to have a look at in this video. Privacy of an individual, we have privacy of behavior and action, privacy of communication, privacy of personal data and image, privacy of thought and feelings, privacy of geolocation, location and space, privacy of association. Now, what is the privacy of an individual? Okay, for example, the biometrics. There are 2 different types of biometrics. One is based on the physical characteristics. Other one is based on the behavior. So, the physical characteristics are something that needs to be secured. Okay, because if you look at the identity spoofing, now in the cybersecurity world, we speak about the digital identity, but digital identity is sometimes based on the physical identity. For example, if you go for the retinal scan, iris scan, okay, it depends upon what a person is. Okay. Now, when you use, in fact, the biometrics is one of the mechanism where the authentication is done. Okay, and the moment he is being identified, moment the subject is identified, something you are is the biometrics. Okay, there's an biometrics based on the physiological biometric and behavioral biometrics. Something you are and something you know and something you have. Okay, so there are a lot of other things that has come now. Okay, somewhere you are and then something you get. Okay, and there's also a zero trust. Okay, now when you look at the identity based on the biometrics, the physiological biometrics is something that needs to be kept as a secure. If it is not kept secure, then there is going to be a compromise on the identity and access management. It is going to be based on the physiological biometrics. Next one, privacy of the behavior and action. Okay, now this is very important. It's based on the behavior of a person. Okay, so behavioral biometrics is a separate category of the biometrics. There's also used for identity and access management. In fact, I think the Mission Impossible, the Rogue Nation, we have the gait analysis, okay, which is actually based on the way somebody walks. Okay, the Simon Pegg walks through the corridor, and the gait analysis it fails. Okay, they find that there is an impersonation attack. Okay, that's based on the behavioral biometrics, and we can pick up each and every biometrics. Okay, from a lot of movies in the Hollywood and across the other part of the world as well. So biometrics based on the behavior, okay, is something that needs to be kept private. Okay, otherwise this will also lead to what is called as an impersonation attack. And I have read somewhere in one of the books, I don't remember exactly, the biometrics can be defeated in 8 different places. Number one is on the sensor and the extractor and the database and the matcher and what comes out of each. And the 8th point where you can actually compromise the biometrics is where you have decision, yes or no. If that can be compromised, I don't need to compromise anything else. Okay, I can always say yes for impersonation attack. Now, how can you secure the impersonation attack at the source? You need to have a security guard close by. Okay, that's one of the way. Okay, there's an, I will not say a compensating control, a supplemental control as well. So this on the privacy of the behavior and the actions. In fact, mimicry, okay, the way the voice recognition is also something that is actually based on the behavioral biometrics. So we can mimic and actually defeat it. But how do you know people are not doing the mimicry to defeat the biometric? We need to have physical security guard close by. Privacy of communication, what you actually communicate using the email, using the telephone, etc. But one thing you should always remember, though the privacy of the communication is very important, in the interest of the national security, you need not, you can also, the government can listen to the conversation. In fact, I personally know a lot of projects that are around the world where the mobile conversation is being tied with the government in the interest of national security. And when it is really alarming, okay, they take an action based on that. So the privacy is okay, but on the lawful basis, the privacy is violated. Yeah? Privacy of the personal data. Phone. This is what the fulcrum of the complete data privacy across the world is. Though we say, digital personal data protection, we say personal data, act, privacy act, etc., privacy law, etc. The personal data needs to be secured. Okay, we have the primary data, secondary data, etc. Now, there is also a post in the LinkedIn which I'll give on the description of this particular video, where I have posted the hierarchical rings of privacy. So I have given 4 layers, where the first layer is the general information. Second, the fourth layer is the general information. Then the third layer extracts from the fourth layer. Second layer extracts from the third layer, which is more or less very closer to the individual. And first layer is the uniquely identifiable or personally identifiable information. Okay, now there are a lot of attacks, the aggregation attack as well, that happen in the world where the hackers collect the details from different sources, and they identify an individual at last. Okay, in fact, there's the latest attack in US where the bill was produced or invoice was produced using the phishing based on the information available across the world, and the payment was actually made. Okay, I will have a separate video on that with what is called as a root cause analysis as a part of my channel. So privacy of the personal data becomes, it's a universal thing that you need to follow. Yeah, so personal privacy of the thoughts and feeling. Now, from a cybersecurity perspective, I have a live example. I was working for an MNC, and in that particular organization, there are people with too much of stress, and they had a migraine, etc. So what the organization did was they had the counselors, okay, so mental stress counselors, and you can actually request to the application saying that I want to speak to somebody, okay, because there's something in my heart which I want to share it with somebody, but it's very sensitive. Now, using that, you can actually request, okay? There are counselors who will be available, and there is a screen in between the person who is, who has got the stress and the counselor. So mutually, they do not know each other, okay? But this guy will open up, or she or he will open up to the counselor, and the counselor counsels, okay, the guy who actually shares the information. Now, this is more on the thoughts and the feelings, okay? But the privacy needs to be maintained. The counselors cannot go out and say that, you know what, I think this is the guy who was actually affected and he shared his thoughts with me, but that doesn't hold good here. So the privacy of the individual, the counselor as well as the guy who is actually sharing it, okay, it's actually maintained as a private information. Yeah. Next one is privacy of the location and space. You don't need to share where you are actually. Okay, so in fact, in the digital world, it's actually called the geolocation. In fact, based on the geolocation, I can find out which part of the globe the subject is actually the data subject is actually from. And this also will lead to what is called the aggregation. Okay, in the sense, one of the points of the aggregation. In fact, I need not know who the person is, but based on the geolocation, based on what he is trying to access, I can actually find out who exactly it is. But it's not that easy the way I'm actually saying, but it is not impossible. Yeah. Privacy of the association. Okay, there's the last one on the privacy. For example, if somebody is a member of a group, okay, then that's actually called the privacy of association. It can be a part of the cybersecurity group. There are a lot of groups on the LinkedIn. Okay, somebody, I can say who viewed my profile on the LinkedIn, and there's a person from this group who has watched your profile, seen your profile, viewed your profile. But, the name is actually not displayed because I'm not an premium LinkedIn user. But again, I know because, recently one of the companies approached me for the CISSP training. Not a company, it's an agency. But I suddenly found out a lot of people from a particular company looking at my profile. When I spoke to the agency, I asked them, is the training for this company? They actually said yes. Because the moment they shared the profile, the L&D team from that company, they started looking at my LinkedIn profile. So I can actually find out who exactly, which company it is. Then I can find out on the LinkedIn, okay, who works with L&D in that organization in this particular location. Okay, I can zero it down to few people who are there in the organization. Okay, I can even call them directly and ask, okay, are you looking out for CSSP training? I'm the trainer. Okay, so those are privacy of the association. But again, it all depends. Okay, when I want to make myself visible on the social media, the privacy of the association doesn't hold good. Okay, I can proudly say that I'm a member of so and so group. Okay, that is a part of the marketing technique to sell yourself. But privacy of the association has an implications on the fourth circle. Okay, I can find out which group they belong to and where the geolocation is and few details about the organization, finally who it is. Yeah. So these are the seven privacy that you need to take care whenever you're designing your privacy. And we have a certified chief data protection officer training, okay, from BCAA, scheduled for 4th, 5th, 18th, and 19th of November. If you wish, you can mail me on training at ISSS.org.uk or Subramaniam at ISSS.org.uk. We'll be more than happy to assist you. And thank you very much for watching this video. Stay connected to this channel for more videos on cybersecurity and privacy. Thank you very much.